All right, hello once again. Jeff Scott of Rankin Technical College. Tell you a very quick story, and I mean quick. When I started at Rankin last July, I went and created a bunch of videos before classes began, including 3 on HTML and HTML5. Here's the first one. Doesn't look like much, but it had some PowerPoint and some other stuff in it. Here was the second one. Went over again some more HTML5 stuff. And here was the third, which unfortunately is only 7 minutes long. And the reason I say unfortunately is what I did in here was I went over all of the CSS selectors. All right. Now, again, I'm not trying to spend much time on this, but I do want to mention to you. What I did was when I created these presentations, for whatever reason, I only had them saved on my external drive, which unfortunately fell to the ground and was ruined. So I don't have these anymore, but I'm hoping that I'm going to put these 3 presentations out there amongst the other stuff, and my hope is that you can get something out of that if you have an interest. All right, so let's finish up. So really what's left, as far as what we have here, we've gone over everything that you see in here. Now, I probably didn't do that stellar a job, so to speak, with the last half, because on the first half we had more examples and the like. But you've at least seen these. Now, as far as this CSS reference, all right, excuse me. As far as this reference, notice we've got property groups, and we've talked about a bunch of these already. In other words, we've already gone through and talked about color, we've talked about animation, etc. Now, have we talked about everything that's in here? The answer is not no, but hell no. So just to very quickly mention a couple things that are in here that I think are important. The first one is flexible box, which is also known as flexbox. All right. Now, if you're interested in finding out more about flexbox, there's a very good article under a site that's called CSS3. .com, and I'm going to type in here Flexbox. A complete guide to Flexbox from CSS Tricks. So if you want to know more about this, this is a good place to at least to start. Cut that down just a tad. There we go. So it's under CSS3.com, Snippets, CSS, a guide to Flexbox. All right. Flexbox is an alternative to having to create a site that has floats, etc. all over the place. So it makes it a little easier to lay things out on screen. All right. It's fairly new, and for lack of better words, it's starting to get some impetus. So it's starting to get some push. All right. Multi-column interface. Well, one thing that you can do with multi-column interface is you can set up, using column count, you can set up how many columns you want your thing to sign up for. All right, so notice if I change that from 3 to 4, not to 43, that would look a little strange, but if I change all these to 4, all right, and we run it, you can see what happens. Again, very important, because not all of this stuff right now is supported by all browsers to add those browser prefixes. All right, you could put 1, but that would be kind of silly, but you oftentimes see like a 2-column format. All right, so if I came in here and changed these all to 2, and then ran it, again, you can see exactly how it's set up. All right. Okay. Talk about a few more things in here. So again, that's some property group stuff. We talked about color. We talked about opacity. We talked about some of the stuff that you can do with a background, but you can see there's a lot of different things that you can do with background. Most people equate background with one of two things: background color, to specify the background color of the element, or background image. So if you wanted to put some kind of an image back there, okay? All right, we've looked at borders. That isn't anything new. And there's a lot of things you can do with borders. One that we didn't probably spend much time on was border radius. So notice if I say I'm going to have a 2-pixel solid border, I think it'll default to black. And if I say a radius there that's 25%, you'll notice I get the rounded corners. All right? And a lot of people use that stuff for anything. You know, it could be a button, it could be anything else. And here's some examples. Oops. We talked a lot about the CSS box model. I showed it to you. There is another thing that's out there. I thought it was kind of neat. You may or may not agree, but it's for Red Melon CSS box model. It used to be under Red Melon. It's been moved, but I think we can still get there from that. And that's it. It's It's an interactive model. I don't know what's going on with that. That's it right here. So if you look, that shows you, and you can drag this. For some reason, mine's not showing. Let's see if I click on here if it shows. No, that's not what I want. That's what I wanted to show you. But it's not letting me. So as you move the slider from the left to the right, this becomes more of one picture. But it's showing you everything in here. The margin, the background color, the image, the padding, the border. Here the image is the content. All right? More about Flexbox if you have an interest on that. We spent a bunch of time talking about text properties. By no means was what I gave you for text properties an exhaustive listing. Text decoration we talked about. Typically, the most important ones are text decoration none. All right. There are a lot of things you can do with font. We looked at font size. We looked at font family. We looked at font style. But as you can see, there are more. The writing mode, again, is more important if you're working on sites that maybe deal with other countries where they read from right to left, whereas in the United States here we read from left to right. Different things you can do with tables. Lists, we hit the list style image. Animation we just talked about. Transform we just talked about. Transition we just talked about. So again, this was very quick, but the idea behind this series of 6 videos that I did was to give you an introduction to the major components of cascading style sheets. By no means was it an exhaustive list that I gave you. All right? And later on, if you remember, because now what I've done here is I gave that pre-lecture. I did the HTML5 videos. Now I've done the CSS, CS3 videos. I did the Terry Felk Morris HTML book PowerPoint videos. I did the Terry Felk Morris Fish Creek Animal Case Study. And I haven't done this. So I'm going to next go in and go through the PowerPoint presentations from the JavaScript book. All right? And we're going to kind of do it in the same way. See if there's case studies I don't remember, and then go and give you some JavaScript fundamentals. All right? There's much more to it than this. In fact, I skipped some stuff in here, so let me grab this. I guess there should be a new number 9 in here. And that is I'm going to go over jQuery and give you some jQuery fundamental videos. There is a jQuery chapter in our JavaScript book. All right, there is a jQuery chapter in there, which I will go over, but I think it's important to also go over JavaScript, So when you look in here, I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parts, but I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 parts to go. Okay, so I've got about 40 videos that I've created so far. Again, I'll add that HTML intro 2 and 3. I'll add those out there momentarily. All right. Hopefully you're getting something out of this. I always try to tell people that if you do happen to look at this and you find some value in it, if you could like it, that's not that important to me one way or the other, but if you could go out and even email me at jpscott@rankin.edu and let me know, or if there's something I'm not doing that you'd like to have me do, if you'd let me know. All right, that's pretty much it for this video. Thanks.